Hello, my name is Nigel Palmer and I'm the author of the book, The Regenerative Grower's Guide to Garden Amendments. I'm going to speak a little bit about using a refractometer to measure the quality of the produce that comes into your house, or measuring the health of your plant throughout the growing season year after year. This is a refractometer. It's a relatively simple device. No batteries, no moving parts. It takes advantage of the bending of light as it goes through an interface. By putting the sap or juice of a plant or fruit or vegetable on this glass surface, closing it, and taking a look through it, you can measure the refractive index of that sap. The refractive index is a measure of the percent sucrose in that sap, and it's calibrated in terms of brix. 1 brix equals 1% sucrose. This device can be purchased online for about $35. There are some things that you might want to look for when purchasing it. First is the scale. The scale that you see when you look into the device wants to be around 0 to 30 brix. This is the range for most of the saps that you'll be measuring. There are devices that have larger scales that go up to 50 or 60 or 70, but that is probably not what you need for this purpose. Also is temperature compensation. The temperature of the sap will make a difference as to its reading using this device. So getting a device that has temperature compensation already built into it is a good idea. The other device you may want to consider is a squeezelator. This is a modified vice grip, and it's useful for squeezing the material that you might want to be measuring. It's very useful when measuring the refractive index of leaves, greens, and other larger things that are more difficult to squish. This can be had by going to Pike Agri-Lab Supplies, and it is listed as a modified vice grip and is available for about $45 at Pike Agri-Lab Supplies.com. Another thing you'll want is a refractive index chart listing the various refractive indexes of several fruits, vegetables, and grasses. This particular chart was put together by Carrie Reams some 50-60 years ago, and on this it lists the poor, average, good, and excellent refractive index values for fruits, vegetables, and grasses. For instance, a tomato has a refractive index of 4 for a poor tomato, 6 for average, 8 for good, and 12 for excellent. What was the refractive index of the tomato you had on your sandwich the other day? The refractive index of crop juices is also listed in my book on page 190, Appendix F, listing the refractive index of fruits, vegetables, and grasses as well. This is where I hope to have stains and edges that are beat up on your copy. The other thing I like to do is to keep track of my measurements. I record the date and the item that I was actually measuring the refractive index of, and I like to record the average value and the breadth of the line that you see within the refractometer when you take a look. To actually use the refractometer, squeeze juice and put it on the glass surface, close it, and tap it so that there's no air within there, and then bring it outside and use sunlight, that's the best source of light, and merely look through it with sunlight coming through the surface, and the amount of sunlight, the amount of bending of that sunlight will determine the refractive index. If it's at night or a cloudy day, you could use a light source inside, where you just hold the refractometer up to a light source and look through it and gain the same measurement information. The other thing I like to do with a refractometer is to calibrate my tongue. Once I use this device and measure the refractive index of a fruit or a vegetable, and then I can taste it myself and take the reading, and now I have an understanding of what the health of that fruit is using my own tongue. And after some period of time, I can actually taste a tomato, for instance, and understand what its brix value is. So you can actually use the refractometer to calibrate your own palate as time goes on. All right, so let's measure the refractive index of some fruits and vegetables. I selected an orange, lettuce, and potato in order to provide the variation in techniques for measuring the refractive index. And you'll see quickly why the squeezelator becomes such an important tool. So let's start with the potato. So the first thing I want to do is grab a hunk of potato, and in this case we're using a beautiful Magic Molly. Look at the beautiful color in that potato. So I'm going to cut off a piece, and an even smaller piece, and you can see the juice already forming there, and a smaller piece still. And now I will put that in the squeezelator and get my refractometer ready, and I'll give the potato a squeeze. Trying to get, you can see I'm squeezing that pretty hard, and I'm looking for that drop of sap. Here it comes. There it is, nice. I have my sap. I'll put the top on, and then I want to tap it. I want to make sure that there's no air in there. So that's nicely colored. And then I'll take a look through here. You want to look at this under light. It's nice to use sunlight. Now it's got a nice big spread. So I'm going to call that 6.0. Plus or minus 0.5. 6.0 plus or minus 0.5. When looking through the refractometer, this is an example of what it might look like. This is not the actual reading, but something close to it. Once you've measured the refractive index and recorded the value, you can look up on the chart what you actually got. So for potatoes, poor is a refractive index of 3, and excellent is a refractive index of 8. And so we got a 6. So that's right in the middle of the scale, poor, average, good, and excellent for the potato. The other thing you can do is actually taste the sap. So we measured this at 6, and so if I taste it, okay. So now you're beginning to calibrate your palate to the values you see on the refractive index. And over time, you'll be able to recognize the flavor of a particular piece of produce and understand its quality by calibrating yourself. So now I have washed the refractometer and the squeezelator. So the next thing we'll try is to measure some lettuce. And you'll see that greens are a little bit more difficult than the potato to get juice out of. So first we'll put it in the squeezelator and we'll begin to squeeze. And you want to squeeze with everything pointing down. So as you squeeze, gravity has a tendency to move the sap to the outlet where you want it. So there's our first squeeze, and you can see nothing really happened. Right? So we'll wait a few minutes, and then what I'm going to do is loosen it. And then tighten it up a little bit, maybe 1/8 of a turn, and then give it another squeeze. Wait, nothing. So I'll tighten it another 1/8 of a turn, and then squeeze again. You can see the sap is beginning to come out now. So I'll get my refractometer ready to accept the sap. 1/8 of a turn, squeeze. And sometimes this takes many iterations, and you have to actually re-ball up the leaf in the refractometer to get a better squeeze. I'll demonstrate that is just by putting everything back in a little bunch in the middle and then squeezing again, and you can see that that did a lot. You see there's quite a bit of sap there at the bottom now. So that's probably enough, a couple drops. So we'll put that on the refractometer. Put the top over. Tap it to make sure all the air bubbles are out. and then we'll go over to the sunlight and make a measurement. 4 plus or minus 0.1. 4.0 plus or minus 0.1. A much narrower band. And if I look at the lettuce on the chart, 4 is poor, 6 is average, 8 is good, and 10 is excellent. So this lettuce comes up as a 4, and it's got a very narrow band. So this is not a really great example of a lettuce. And of course I could taste it. Okay, tastes okay. Well, here in February in New England, it's difficult to find lettuce unless you've grown it yourself in a greenhouse or something like that. So there we have it. There's lettuce. So I'm going to go and wash these things now. Okay, and then finally we'll do an orange. This is an organic orange. And we'll see that citrus are very easy. Just a matter of making a cut and then giving a squeeze. No squeezelator required here. Very easy to get the juice from citrus. And we'll tap that. Nice, plenty of sap. And we'll give that a reading. And this came out to be 10.7. 10.6 plus or minus 0.2. And then I'll taste that to calibrate my palate. Tastes pretty good to me. Citrus is so nice this time of year. And we'll look at our chart, and we see for orange, poor is 6, average is 10, good is 16, and excellent is 20. So we're in the 10, so this is an average orange, but geez, I wonder what a 20 might taste like. Here's another example of what it looks like when you look through the refractometer when taking a measurement. Note the blurriness of the line between the white and the blue sections. This would be a reading of 10.5 plus or minus 0.3. Here's one final example of a brix reading, 20.4 plus or minus 0.2. Record keeping is very useful. Over the course of many years, you'll be able to see the change in quality of the produce that you grow, and maybe even the produce you purchase. I like to use the refractive index for not only measuring the produce that comes into my house and monitoring the refractive index of the things I grow year after year, but also to monitor the health of the plant throughout the day. By measuring the refractive index every couple of hours of the leaf of the same plant during the day, you can actually watch the rise and fall of the refractive index, specifically on a bright sunny day. As photosynthesis kicks in, the sugar content of the sap of a plant increases, and you can actually measure this as time goes on. If the refractive index of the plant does not change throughout the day and stays flat rather than going up and down, that's an indication of a boron deficiency of your plant. Another use for the refractometer is to measure the efficacy of the foliar sprays that you apply. When you apply a foliar spray to a plant, it should have a rather quick response on the order of minutes or hours, and the refractive index of the sap within the leaf should increase. You can apply a foliar spray on one patch of a crop and not on another patch, and measure the refractive index in the two places to determine if the plant liked the foliar spray you were adding. Measure the refractive index in the two plots, say 3 or 4 different plant leaves, the third leaf from the top of the plant or the first full leaf, pick a nomenclature that suits you, and measure 3 different plants with that in mind. Do that on the plot you're going to apply the foliar spray and the plot you're not going to apply the foliar spray. Once you have those readings, then apply the foliar spray to one of those plots. Wait an hour or two, and then measure the refractive index of those plants in the same manner, using the same nomenclature, to determine if there was an increase or not in those plant sap readings. If you don't get a positive response, wait until the next day and try again. It could be some time before the plant decides it likes or needs that foliar spray. If you get a negative response, then that's a good indication that the plant did not appreciate what you were applying to it. This is very useful going forward to evaluating the efficacy of homemade mineral and biological amendments. There are variations associated with the measurement of the refractive index, and so its use over time is encouraged so that you can understand what these variations are and understand how that might affect your readings going forward. So there's a summary of the use of the refractometer. Try it and gain some information about the quality of the fruits and vegetables that are coming into your house. Once you realize that the fruits and vegetables that are coming into your house are of some low value, now you have the ability to have a conversation with your grocer about the quality of the food you're purchasing in the store. This is very important. This is very empowering to have this conversation. These conversations are very important for all of us. As more of us bring this conversation to our grocers, the more awareness about the quality of the foods we eat will occur.